What is going on, everyone? This is Vampy coming to you with my very first review video featuring Sevagoth, which recently came in Update 30 in Warframe, The Call of the Tempestari. Now this update came with some updated game modes to Railjack and a new side quest. The reason I'm calling it a side quest is because it's very short. Honestly, it only takes about 3 to 5 minutes to complete the quest. However, there is a lot of good lore in this quest that helps tie some things together to help Railjack fit in the game and not just be another game mode. The reward you get from after completing the quest is the blueprint for the new Warframe Sevagoth. The parts you will need to build Sevagoth come from mission rewards from doing Railjack Void Fissures. Now these are called Void Storms. It's pretty much just Void Fissures in Railjack. It's really all it is. Pretty easy. You do your Railjack mission, you do your regular mission, you get void traces with a shared pool, so not everybody is left out if someone can't get enough, and then you get your reward. Now there has been a lot of hype over this Warframe prior to its release. In this video, I'm going to go over how I built Sevagoth, where this frame shines, and where it fails to hit the mark. So let's jump right into it. Now, Sevagoth is the 46th Warframe that has been introduced into the game. I will say, he is a lot of fun to play. You can nuke entire waves of enemies when you combine Sow and Reap or his 2 and his 1, and you can completely slow down enemies to a crawl with Gloom his 3. Now, using those abilities, you will fill up a meter. Once that meter is ready, you can use your 4 and bring out your Shadow Form. The Shadow Form has 3 more abilities that can be used. With the Shadow Form's 1, you can pull enemies towards you and slice and dice with the Form's claws. Its 2 is used to heal your Shadow Form when you dash through enemies, and its 3 is used to inflict additional damage. I also mentioned the claws just a minute ago. Yes, the Shadow Form has its own weapon. These claws are super powerful when paired with the Shadow's 1. You can literally slice and dice through enemies like butter. Now with that being said, to get the base frame, the Shadow Form and the claws all to do decent everyday damage, you're going to need to invest some Forma. I have 14 Forma invested in this frame. I know, that is a lot of Forma. I have 4 in the base frame, 4 in the Shadow Form, and 6 in the claws. Now you're going to say, damn, that's like a lot of Forma. Like I just said, you're not wrong, it is. However, it's Forma. You can get more. There's plenty of Forma to go around. They're not hard to get. However, I have 1 Umbra Forma invested in each form and in the claws for a total of 3 Umbras. Yes, they are rare, but with the introduction of them being available from Teshin every now and then, and drops and so forth, you can get them again to replace them. Now, with 14 Formas invested in this, you would think this frame should tear through everything. However, that is not the case. Sevagoth has some major flaws. The first major flaw is that in order to use your 4, you're going to need to fill up that meter. Then once you fill up that meter, the Shadow Form also has its own life paired with the meter that counts down. There is no way to fill that meter back up until you either die or exit your 4 and fill it back up. What's the point of having a meter to fill up your alt that has its own life that you need to keep track of? Honestly, it should just be one or the other, not both. It makes for some really inefficient use of the abilities to try and keep track of multiple things just for an alt ability. The second major flaw I have with Sevagoth is the energy pool. When you go into your Shadow Form, your energy pool from the base frame is not shared with the Shadow Form. So therefore, as soon as you hit 4, you have little to no energy to use your Shadow's abilities. It really has me scratching my head. I mean, what's the point of an alt that uses additional energy aside from the base form? To me, that makes no sense at all. The only way I found to get around this is to put preparation in your Exilus slot on the Shadow frame. That way, as soon as you hit 4, you have max energy. Then you can really use the abilities to their max potential. Honestly, when you pair the Shadow Form's 1 or pull with the claws, it becomes a very deadly combo. Now this build works really well for normal difficulty missions. I've done a lot of testing on stream with this build, and to be honest, Sevagoth is not a high level frame at all. There are many other frames that succeed way more than Sevagoth, and with all this being said, let's take a look at the build that I've put together. Alright, now that I've shown you some gameplay and my thoughts on Sevagoth so far, let's take a look at the build that I've put into this. Like I've said earlier, I've put in 14 Formas in this frame. That is a lot of Forma. However, with that being said, it's Forma. You can get more. It's not like there's a an end supply of formas that's going to run out and you'll never get any more. However, I do have 3 umbral formas in this build, and umbral formas are pretty rare. However, they do exist. You can get more of them, it just takes time to get them. Is it worth using the umbral formas? That's for you to decide. I use them because I have a couple of them laying around that I haven't used in months, and I figured, what the heck, I might as well use them. So looking at the build, on the base frame, I'm running Corrosive Projection, Power Drift, Adaptation, Prime Flow, Stretch, Umbral Intensify, and Vitality, Streamline, Augur Reach, and Augur Secrets. I'm also running Arcane Energize and Arcane Grace. It's a pretty basic build. You're getting decent strength, really good range, top efficiency, and your average duration of 100%. Not negative, not positive, right in the middle. It works pretty well. However, when we get into the shadow form, this is where I have a lot of problems. Now we're running Steel Charge, Preparation, Speed Drift, Umbral Vitality, Streamline, Adaptation again, Transient Fortitude, Overextended, Prime Flow, Natural Talent, and we're running Arcane Fury and Arcane Strike to maximize the claws. The biggest problem I have with this frame is the non-shared energy pool between the base frame and the shadow form. As soon as you hit 4, you have 0 energy unless you're running Preparation. The only way to get around this is if you have a Protea or like a Trinity to give you energy as soon as you hit your 4, or run an Arcane Energize on this as well, and then hope that there's energy orbs somewhere nearby to be able to max out your energy. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. What is the point of having a meter to build up to be able to use your 4, and then as soon as you hit your 4, you can't even use it to its max potential because you have no energy? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That is the biggest flaw in Sevagoth so far, in my opinion. Now when we look at the claws, it's going to be your basic Condition Overload build. We're running Prime Reach, Condition Overload, Berserker Fury because I want it to be super fast, Prime Pressure Point, Prime Fever Strike, Vicious Frost, Sacrificial Steel, and we're getting that sweet viral damage with 121.6 crit chance. And even though the crit multiplier is kind of low, it works really well when you pair it with the Shadow Forms 1. Alright, so let's see a little bit of gameplay with this build that I have. We're running against level 180 Corrupted Heavy Gunners, the standard for testing. We're going to hit our 3, slow everybody down with Gloom. We're going to pop our 2, pop our 1. You know, we're going to attack everybody. We're going to fill up our meter, which I've already been working on. I'm running just a basic Reaper Prime build. There's no rivet on it whatsoever. So we're just going to kill all these enemies as if we were working on filling our meter. So the build works pretty well in its base form. Now let's take a look at its shadow form with the claws where it really shines. We're going to simulate. We're going to hit our 4. Like I said, we need preparation because if we didn't, we'd have no energy. We're going to pull our enemies in with our 1 and pretty much just destroy them with the claws. This is where this build shines, is running the 1 with the claws, and it just works. It literally destroys enemies in its path almost instantaneously. I mean, look at that. And our combo counter instantly is maxed out, and we're literally killing everybody. Now, if we were to do this and not have preparation on this build, we'd be up a creek with no paddle because we literally would have no energy to be able to do this. So just for testing sakes, what we're going to do is we're going to go in, we're going to swap out preparation out of the shadow, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go into upgrade. We got preparation in our Exilus. Let's just put in Prime Sure-Footed just because it'll fit. Not that it really matters. Alright, now that we took preparation off of the build, let's take a look and see what happens without it. We're going to hit our 3 and turn that on. Hit him with the Sow and the Reap. We're going to maximize our meter just to be able to use the shadow form. Let's hit our shadow form, pull him in with our 1. Now we are getting energy to drop here. However, in a mission, that's not always the case. We all know that energy does not drop from every enemy that you kill. Therefore, you need preparation on here. If you didn't, you'd be screwed. You'd be able to use 1 or 2 abilities, that's it, and then you would have to go back into your regular form because there'd be no other point other than to use the claws. And the claws only work really well when paired with those abilities from the shadow form. So, at the end of the day, do I think Sevagoth is a good frame? I do. It's a lot of fun for your everyday player, and I could see it being a main for many. However, until the issues that I found with the frame are fixed, it'll never be a high-level frame. Now, you could do this build with less forma or have a better build in mind, but in the end, this is what I found that works for me and my style of play. In the end of the day, this is just my opinion on Sevagoth. Anyways, I hope you liked this video as it was my first frame review for the game. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can also catch me live on Twitch with the link listed below. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.